running, jumping, trotting, and so forth. Therefore, and we can see the same thing in the case of the children learning rock play. This was a crucial step in the development of hominids. And yet children go through that phase as well. So I'm going to propose a behavioral analog to Haeckel's law. I'm going to say that over the course of ontogenic time, that is, during the development of a single child, that child's initial learning is all locomotor. And over the course of the time, it becomes less and less locomotor. It starts off no cerebral, and over the course of time, it becomes more and more cerebral. So I'm claiming that this is the way we learn. What that means is that this is absolutely the wrong way to teach young children, because there's no locomotor element at all. They're sitting still. That's not how their brains are meant to learn. They want to run and jump and play and move around and engage in locomotor activity, because that's what their brains are geared for. This is the wrong way to teach arithmetic. They should not be seeing it on a wall. They should be feeling it in their bodies. Here, hold one bucket. It's heavy. Here's another bucket. Now pour some more water, as much water into it. Now there's twice as much water. See, it feels twice as heavy. Here's 4 buckets. Here's another example. Take this cart and drag it 3 meters. Okay, good. Now, the next student, take this cart, drag it 4 meters. How far has the cart traveled? 7 meters. But the thing is, they feel it because they were dragging it with their muscles. The muscles are an important part of the learning, of the system of learning used by the human mind. Part of it, now, why are we doing this so wrong? Well, you could blame this man, Rene Descartes, who greatly addressed the question of what is called the mind-body problem. The basic idea of this actually goes back way thousands of years to the beginning of civilization and the idea of law. You see, you have these laws. Don't kill people. Don't steal from them. Should be obvious, okay? And if you do, we're going to kill you. Now, this is pretty simple. Most people should be able to figure it out, but for some reason, people continue to commit crimes. For thousands and thousands of years, people have committed crimes and been punished for it, and you would wonder, why? How can they be so stupid? Well, Descartes provided one answer to this, the mind-body problem. He says, well, actually, there's our mind over here and our body over there. And our mind is good and rational and virtuous. And our mind knows that we shouldn't kill people and we shouldn't steal from them. But our body is a barbarian. Our body has needs and desires. And it will do all sorts of criminal things unless the mind controls the body. And so you've got to have a strong mind and suppress those bodily urges. And that's the only way that we can be civilized. Well, yeah, maybe so. But that doesn't mean that the body is, the fundamental problem is that the body and the mind are not separate. They are very closely joined together. Here's an example from the English language. All of these phrases use a term from the human body to express an idea that has nothing to do with the body. In other words, we are using bodily metaphors to express purely cerebral ideas. The body still profoundly affects the way our mind thinks. Here's another example, probably even less useful. All of the the European languages are descended from an ancient language called Indo-European. And the word for foot in Indo-European is believed to be ped. And that basic word shows up in all of these English words. peddler is somebody who walks around selling things. But an octopus has 8 feet. Well, okay. Pajamas? That really is derived from pet. In other words, the body has penetrated our thinking so deeply that it's deeply woven into our language. And I'd like to close today by showing you that even adults allow, even for adults like you, bodily thinking profoundly influences the way you think. Because you see, I'm doing it to you right now. There's something inside the brain called mirror neurons. These are organized in big circuits. And mirror neurons basically allow you to feel something that you see. For example, you're watching a movie and here's a guy with a hammer hammering a nail, bang, 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 and then he hits his hand, bang, oh, ouch. And you might say, ooh, ouch. There are lots of things you see in movies where you feel the physical thing that you see on the screen. That's because there are these mirror neurons that take what you see in the visual world and connect it directly to the locomotor circuits or sensory circuits that feed into your brain. In other words, you're actually feeling it. Another good example of this is the idea of a child watching his father and copying what he's doing. He's watching the motions of his father's hands, and he's actually able to translate that into similar motions of his own hands. And we see it over and over again. The human mind is full of mirror neurons. And those mirror neurons are at work inside your brain right now. Because you see, I run around, I jump, I wave my arms, I do all of this stuff, and it's really a very sneaky way for me to get my message across to you without you even knowing I'm doing it. It's kind of like propaganda. See, because when I do these things, you, in effect, feel the energy and excitement that I have, and that makes you excited and energetic about it, and it makes you more willing to accept what I say. So, even adults still have a strong connection between their body and their mind when it comes to learning. And so, the conclusion I draw from all of this is that we, as a culture, need to understand the importance of locomotor aspects of human learning. We should certainly make dramatic changes in the way that we educate very young people. We are already showing developments in that direction with early education. Early education is very well focused on locomotor behavior, but then at some point we put them into school, and at that point we throw it all away, and everything goes to hell. Thank you very much for your time.